Hey, Sub-Furies! I'll be taking us through another How to Train Your Dragon theory about whether or not bone nappers and armor wings are related next video. But I asked if you guys want to see some Star Wars stuff, and overwhelmingly, you guys said yes. So here it is.
I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
The Last Jedi teaser trailer ends with that ominous phrase, but what does it mean? Has Luke gone to the dark side? Has he just given up? Or is there something more complicated? Let's get started. For our answer, we must look back to an earlier scene in the trailer that passes by in the blink of an eye when Rey is saying 3 words: light, darkness, balance. The 3 infamous descriptions of the Force. We see a shot of Leia Organa and the Rebellion when she describes light. We see a shot of the destroyed mask when she says dark. But then when she says balance, we see something that we have never seen in the Star Wars universe before. A book. And you're saying, what? Of course there's books, right? Are there? Have they really? No, George Lucas purposefully excluded any books or paper from these Star Wars movies because he wanted it to look like everything was digitalized. But what is so special about this book for it to symbolize balance? After all, the entire Star Wars story is about bringing balance to the Force. Now we know that after Kylo Ren wiped out his new Jedi Order, Luke, seeing the world he built shattered, went into isolation and sought out the first Jedi Temple. And if the Star Wars universe hasn't seen paper in hundreds, if not thousands of years, then these books are ancient. I mean, they go right back to the beginning of the Jedi Order and can hold secrets that may have been lost throughout history. So the question becomes, what did Luke discover to make him think that the Jedi must end? Now we then cut to an image of a book with an old Jedi symbol on it, and the prevailing theory is that this is the Journal of the Whills. Big news! What is the Journal of the Whills though? The journal has been a bit inconsistent in whether or not it is canon and what exactly it is. But with Rogue One and The Force Awakens, we've been given our real first glimpse at where the story is taking the Journal of the Whills. This video won't be addressing the ambiguous references to the journal in the past. What we have learned is that this is known as the Temple of the Whills, and there are also a group of people called the Guardians of the Whills. Now the planet that the temple was on was known as one of the first places that there were Force-sensitive beings exploring the nature of the Force. And with things like temples and guardians, it's implied that there's something sacred, some ancient secrets, some religious order to it. The journal has been a mix of a historical record of the galaxy as well as spiritual teachings and prophecy. And in the novelization of The Force Awakens, we may finally get a verse that explains Luke's line. First comes the day, then comes the night. After the darkness shines through the light. The difference, they say, is only made right by the resolving of grey through Jedi refined sight. Journal of the Whills, Chapter 7, verse 477. With 7477, it's written much like a Bible verse, which too is kind of a mix of an historic record with spiritual teachings and prophecy. But let's focus on those last few lines. That the difference between the light and the dark, the Jedi and the Sith, is only balanced by a resolving of the grey. A middle ground that is neither fully light nor fully dark. Now these teachings go back to the very foundations of the Jedi Order and their understanding of the Force. Whatever Luke has learned at the first Jedi Temple, it has blown apart his original understanding of the Force and the Jedi Order. And there is also a lot of lore supporting the idea that the Jedi have become corrupted over time. Luke comes to see how far the Jedi have fallen from their original philosophies. The Journal of the Whills guided their understanding of the Force, but their obsession with being in the light and forbidding the dark prevented them from becoming balanced themselves. Just like the Journal of the Whills says, the Jedi are meant to have the refined sight to be grey. The Jedi were never meant to be fully light nor fully dark. So what happens? Luke sees that the ways that he taught Kylo Ren and the other new Jedi, as well as the way that Yoda taught him, was wrong. On top of that, he has been seeing that the way that the Jedi Order has operated has created the Sith. It created Kylo Ren. It created Darth Vader. The Jedi Order that Luke knew, that Yoda knew, that we all knew, must come to an end. It can't happen without a resolving of the grey. And we see in the trailer that Luke begins to tell Rey it's so much bigger. And it's true, the Force is so much bigger than the Jedi Order had come to teach their pupils. What does this mean for the series? We're going to see Rey become a more Gray Jedi than her predecessors, drawing on the light and the dark, where the Jedi Order had previously forbade. And it's cool because Grey Jedi have a long history, like Ashoka in the Clone Wars and in Rebels and in the Legends saga as well. So it's pretty cool to see the films finally exploring them. But that's all from me, Sub-Furies. My question to you is, what colour lightsaber would you wield if you were a Jedi? If you enjoyed this, then let me know of any other Star Wars questions you have down in the comments below. A new How to Train Your Dragon video will be coming out next week, don't worry. In the meantime, feel free to follow me on Twitter, Wattpad, Facebook, read my books, or email me at the links in the description below. Stay nerdy, Sub-Furies. I'll see you in the future.